Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Ask Andrew, or I should say, Ask Matthew and Evelyn. Andrew's getting some much-needed time off and well-deserved time off, some extended weekend time for
definitely.
Andrew. So we're going to hold down the fort here. We got some questions for you, weather impact alert in place for today for that rain, so we'll be going over that, and then we'll get to your questions. So yeah, happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome.
And happy first day of school to some people as well.
First day of school
I'm
started.
sure anyone going to school is already at school right now. But parents, happy first day of school. Kids are out of the house. It's great.
Finally drop off the kids. But yeah, so we're under that weather impact alert for today for that rain. And if you're going out to the Mississippi Valley Fair later today, we're going to be dealing with some of that rain across our area. And taking a look outside, it has been quite rainy so far this morning. Overcast skies, 72 degrees, a dew point sitting at 70 degrees. We've had some periods of dry pockets. Most of that
we're in
rain.
one here at the station right now, at least briefly.
Yeah.
That might come to an end in the next little bit.
Yeah, we got a lot of thunderstorm activity to our southwest, but for the most part, some of our southwestern hometowns seeing some scattered thunderstorms. Mount Pleasant, Burlington, seeing a few rumbles of thunder. But here in the immediate Quad Cities, just a few tiny little drizzles.
Yeah, north of 82, it's kind of thinned out and gotten a little lighter if it's anywhere. I know Sterling, you guys probably just got done getting some rain just a little bit ago as well.
Yeah, no, we're seeing some pretty heavy thunderstorms, and these have been really south of Des Moines since last night, and they've been very slowly trying to move their way into our hometowns.
So that's going to be a lot of localized rain since it's so slow moving.
Yeah, you could see they did issue a flash flood warning for the Des Moines National Weather Service south of Des Moines along Interstate 35, but that rain has since moved out of our area. Because it's so slow moving, I mean, we're going to look at our rainfall totals coming up in just probably a day from now and look at Mount Pleasant and Burlington and Washington and maybe even as far north as Muscatine and probably see 2, 3 in some localized areas, maybe even 4 or 5 inches of rain because this has just been slow moving. It feels like it's been raining there since last night. I went to bed around 11 and I checked the radar and it was raining there last night. But Evelyn's been in here since what time?
3.
3? Has it been raining there since 3?
No. When I got here and started building my show and everything, it had just gotten to our western counties.
Okay, so it's been about 6 hours of just steady rain.
Yeah.
It's good rain, though. We'll be looking probably about above average rainfall for the month of August
Already
for some of these hometowns. Yeah.
Was it only the 5th?
It's only the 5th.
Only the 5th.
That's right. We'll take a look at visible satellite right now. Just a massive cloud deck overhead. You can see where some of those thunderstorms are south of Des Moines, but all of our hometowns are seeing those overcast skies. Some clearing skies off to the west. Once this system eventually starts to move out of our area, we'll start to see some clearing skies. Maybe even later tonight. We'll take a look at future track. Really, most of this heavy stuff stays to the south.
Yeah,
maybe
way to the south.
Maybe some isolated thunderstorms later this afternoon to the south. But the Quad Cities here, we're looking to be quite dry going into this afternoon. And I know I have the NDA deck hockey tournament that starts today. And so that was kind of a concern. I know the first game starts at 5. Looking to be quite dry.
Yeah, and that's 5. Good for the fair too, especially for the evening.
Yeah.
Plans to know there's I think it's Keith Urban.
Keith Urban,
Keith Urban's going to be playing around 8, and I think some fireworks too. So it'll definitely be dry enough. But if you're heading out to that fair this afternoon, where there will be some rain between 1:30 and about 3:30. Definitely wear shoes that you're okay with getting really dirty out there. I'm sure it's going to be quite muddy out there for us today and for some of those activities that they have planned to. I think there's different competitions and like little food shows. So definitely, hopefully some of those won't be rained out for us today.
Well, I took down a corn dog yesterday. I think I may go back out there later this afternoon, but probably after 3 o'clock when it's done raining, and then shoot some video of the ponding and the mud, because there's a lot of dirt out there, but when it rains, it turns to mud.
Yeah, I'm excited to go out there tomorrow.
Tomorrow, weather on the road. You get to go out there and do the weather from the state fair.
Andrew recommended I try a lemonade shake-up.
Lemonade shake-up.
It's apparently an even more sugary version of a lemonade.
Ooh, okay.
So
I mean, lemonade's already sugary enough, right?
Yeah.
So I'm showing this right now. This is 11 o'clock tonight. Still have some overcast skies across our hometowns. I want to talk about the overcast skies because that's going to lead us into our Ask Andrew question for the week from our viewer, Nancy, I believe. Yep, Nancy. So there is a very bright star, and I put star in quotation marks, to the west, northwest every single night. Is that a planet or a star? What am I seeing? And so I've posted a few times on social media, but I've never actually really done an explainer on air. I think I did it one time. But I show that because if the skies are clear enough and you look off to the west, that star that you see out in the distance, that's not actually a star. That is our neighboring planet, Venus. And it's currently in the eastern sky right now, but by the time the sun sets, it is very visible in the western sky, especially right after sunset, and it's visible until 10:04. That's when it sets below the horizon. And the best time to view it is at 8:30, and it's pretty much just you look due west, and it is a very bright star, bright planet in the sky. And so I took a photo of it a few weeks ago, and that's the photo on the right. You can see that bright dot to the kind of, I'd say 9 o'clock-ish to the moon. Maybe 10 o'clock to the moon.
Yeah, I would say 10.
Yeah, but you can see I circled it. That bright star, or again, a bright planet, that is Venus. It's often known as the evening star because it is visible in the west sky for 263 days at a time in the western sky. And then it sets below the horizon for 50 days, and then it rises again for 263 days in the eastern sky.
That's awesome.
But right now we're in that phase of the 263 days where you can see it looking off to the west, and it is very bright. It's actually the third brightest object in the sky. Obviously, the sun and the moon are going to be brighter than Venus. You know, you think of the North Star, Sirius, that's actually the fourth brightest object, or the first brightest star in the nighttime sky. But this is the third brightest object because it is a planet, and it is our neighboring planet. It's also the hottest planet in the solar system.
Yes.
Fun fact. And also, something else tonight, and over the past couple of nights, if you look off to the east, now this is a little bit later, not as bright as Venus is, but you'll see the moon, and the moon will rise from the east around 11 o'clock tonight, and then if you look kind of just due to the east of the moon, you'll see another bright object in the sky, and that is actually Saturn. You won't be able to see its rings. It's too far away to see its rings. But the best time to view is at 11:36 at night when it's just above the eastern horizon. So if you look off to the west in the early evening, you'll see Venus. And then if you wait a few hours and look off to the east, you'll see the moon and Saturn.
What will the clouds look like at 11:30 tonight if it goes that far?
Let's go back there.
Yeah.
I have it set to 11, but we can extend it to 2. How about that? 2 a.m. on Thursday. So overnight. Now if you're staying up for that, right? I know you shouldn't be staying up for that.
I will be waking up at that 2 a.m. time for tomorrow.
You'll be able to see the moon?
I'll be back for GMQC tomorrow as well.
So let's go to 11. So if you look off to the east, you'll still have some of those overcast skies. So yeah, we'll still have some overcast skies overnight. So maybe not the best viewing for tonight, but I think tomorrow.
Tomorrow should be good. It'll be clear.
We can look at tomorrow. We'll go to Thursday and then Friday. We should go out that far. But yeah, I know on Monday it was very visible.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, tomorrow you should be able to see it. We'll have maybe a few clouds in our area tomorrow night, but it should be enough where you could see through and see the moon, Saturn, and Venus off to the west, especially off to the west around 9:30 tomorrow. So that will be very cool. So I wanted to answer that question because, you know, I've been out with some friends and, you know, I'll point to that and be like, oh, look, it's Venus. And like, how do you know that? It's like, I got to know everything going around in the sky.
Just in case people think meteorologists study space stuff, we have to know that too.
Yeah, and I also try to do my best to study the northern lights because I'm a huge fan of the auroras. So anytime we have an aurora activity here in the Quad Cities, you will know about it from me. So now I think it's time to get to your guys' questions. I'm just pulling up live radar just so you guys can see the radar loop again. But let's go to your guys' question. What was that? Sorry.
She was just, Alec was telling us, go into boxes.
Oh, cool. Thanks, Alec.
Hey.
Okay, let's read this. The longest recorded lightning bolt ever. Chris asks, the longest recorded lightning bolt ever. I know that was a few years ago. Let's see if we have that in our folder. I know it spanned like almost the entirety of the Midwest, if I recall correctly. Nope, not heat lightning.
While you look for that, definitely leave some recommendations for the Mississippi Valley Fair for Matthew and I, because we need to go explore and go do some fun things. So whether it's, does it have carnival rides? Like I'm a carnival girl, so I love all the spinny rides and everything. So definitely leave some recommendations in the chat for us so we know what to go look for when we have time to go explore. I would very much appreciate that.
They do have the spinny lights. I know that, or the spinny rides. I know that. Don't eat before those.
Oh, I won't.
Eat the funnel cake after.
Yeah.
No, I'm not seeing anything. I do know that the longest lightning strike was, it was long. I know that much. So sorry, can't answer that right now. Tyler asks, what is the weather looking like for Friday through Sunday in Newton, Iowa for the NASCAR race weekend? Okay, well, we can go try to see the future track for that. I think skies are going to be clear Friday through Sunday.
Yeah, if anything, just a very small chance of showers Friday evening. But I don't think the NASCAR race, those are usually afternoons, right? NASCAR races?
I think so. Let's see. All right, Newton's just outside of Des Moines. So let's move our camera all the way over to kind of the Des Moines area, why don't we? All right. Newton, there we are. Center stage. Tyler, do you know what time the NASCAR events take place? I'm not a big NASCAR fan. Like, I don't really watch NASCAR. I like the movie Cars, though. That was fun. We'll go to Friday and
through Sunday.
I don't think it's going to go out necessarily that far. But yeah, we'll take a look. So Friday, okay. Well,
those evening showers.
Yep. So Friday night looks to have some evening thunderstorm activity. We really say late afternoon, early evening time frame. Kind of raining out by 8 o'clock.
Wind looks pretty strong though, so it
does,
move out of there pretty fast.
And this model only goes out to like 6 a.m. on Saturday, but I think that's going to be the only real shower chance until Sunday night for Newton. So yeah, we're keeping an eye on that, especially if you're heading out that way. That looked pretty strong, I will say. Riley's got some jokes for us, of course.
Let's hear 'em.
What do you call a storm that is always thinking? That's a good one.
A brainstorm?
Yes.
Hey!
It's not fun when you get them.
Sorry.
What is hail?
What is hail? Like, is that an actual question or the joke?
It's a joke.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, well, what is hail? Ooh. I don't know. What is hail, Matthew?
Just hard-boiled rain.
That's really funny.
Yeah, I would not have gotten that one.
Riley, that might be one of my favorites that you've sent in so far.
I'll tell you that. So we can go back to 2:30 on Sunday. Tyler asked. We'll just throw our kind of longer range model out there to kind of get a general picture. It's not as high resolution as our short-term model here, but we can go take a look at what the European model is saying for Sunday at 2:30 in the afternoon. Let's go over here. Okay, so this is still set to Wednesday, but I have to go and change that time.
Date and time.
Date and time, that's right, yep. Okay, go out to Sunday. Get to see the inner workings behind the graphics, as always, on these. All right. It's going to have to load in.
Saturday.
Okay.
Now here comes Sunday.
Okay, so, yeah, Sunday afternoon looks to be pretty dry.
Yeah.
For the most part. Maybe have a few scattered showers in the early morning, but clearing out of the area by Sunday afternoon. So I think it'll be good for Sunday afternoon. And the only concern would be Friday evening, I believe. So yeah, definitely keep an eye on the radar, of course, if you're heading out there. Anything outside, thunderstorm-related activity. Keep an eye on that. I think that's it for all the questions in the Facebook chat. You have anything else you wanna add here? Or?
No.
You're good?
I'm good.
Well, I think we did a good job of holding down the fort.
Yes, I know we are not Andrew, but we are a good duo here.
Yes.
We did our best to
we did a good job.
honor Andrew for everyone today.
He's not gone. He's just
not
taking
gone.
some much needed time off.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in and asking questions. And of course, Riley, thank you for the jokes. I'll be doing the Good Morning Quad Cities at 11 here in just an hour and a half or so, talking about that weather impact alert and what we're seeing on the radar going in towards this afternoon for the Mississippi Valley Fair, and if you have any plans for tonight. So I will see you guys then, and when will we see you next?
You guys will see me bright and early tomorrow morning when covering for Andrew again on Good Morning Quad Cities. So today was my first full GMQC shift, so thank you all for bearing with me. As, you know, I got all the nerves and road bumps out of there, but I'm so excited to be back again tomorrow morning.
I'm sure you did a good job.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll see you here in just a few hours.
Today, we are talking storms, thunderstorms to be more specific. Evan had a great question here asking, why do we see most thunderstorm activity here in the Quad Cities typically develop or move in during the day or late at night? So with the power of artificial intelligence, I took all of this large amount of data. This is observational data. So about every 15 minutes or so, the weather station at the airport here, the Quad Cities International Airport, records weather conditions, including when it detects we're having a thunderstorm. So all this data exists, likely going back well to the 1960s, 1970s, and beyond. This is what I produced. It's called a thunderstorm heat map. Left-hand side of your screen is the time of day. The bottom is the time of year, the month. Where you see the yellows, oranges, and reds, that's when we see the most frequent thunderstorm activity. So you can see there's two clusters. There's a cluster at the top between midnight and about 8, 9 a.m., and then another cluster at the bottom between 3 in the afternoon and midnight. And of course, you could flip the time scale and put the two clusters together, but it shows some interesting things. One, of course, you're going to have the majority of storm activity when you have the most heat energy. When is that? It's the afternoon, evening, and in some cases, the overnight hours. 2, early morning storms usually form to our west in Nebraska and Iowa and then take a little while to get here. That's why you see early morning storm activity uptick a little bit there in the timing. Our afternoon, evening storms, those will typically form overhead or just to our western, eastern Iowa. So it's two things, the time of day and where the storms form. I love the question that I got for this morning, and I want you to see it, so I'm going to step out of the way because it's kind of funny. So this comes from, I think it's a couple down in Knox County. Mrs. Farmer John wants to know if Farmer John is correct that there is such a thing as heat lightning. Is there such a thing? So we're going to set the record straight here. So I want to give you a little bit of information before we dive into the answer. So how does light travel versus sound in terms of its speed and its distance and all that? Well, light is capable of traveling very, very far distances, that is. In fact, more than 100 miles in most cases is how far light can travel. And by light, we're meaning lightning, that flashing light that you see coming out of storms. Look at sound, though. Sound does not travel very far at all, maybe 10 miles maximum on a good day versus 100 plus miles with light. So what you're seeing, the term heat lightning, is actually not caused by the heat at all. It's actually lightning from a distant thunderstorm. And remember, because you can see that light for more than 100 miles, the storm can be well more than 100 miles away from you and you're still able to see that. So heat itself alone does not cause lightning or heat lightning. That's why that term is not correct. It's actually just lightning from a distant thunderstorm that you're able to see thanks to the right conditions in the sky, including clear skies. Usually the storm's got to be quite a ways away and you don't have to have any cloud cover overhead. But heat alone, nope, not going to do it.